Well, hello YouTube, and welcome to a little bit of a change of tack in what we're going to be doing today. As you know, I've pretty much just done Civ playthroughs, my last sort of 120 videos it's been now. I can't believe it's been that many. But I am going to play something different today, and if you have never played this game before, I would strongly recommend you give it a download and a try. This is called The Battle for Wesnoth, and it is not a new game. It's been around for a little while now, so I'm sure that most people may have at least heard of it if not played it. But it's completely free to download. It's an open sourced game that people collaborate with. I think you can join, they call it the project or the team or something like that, and you can, if you're into computer programming and that sort of thing, then I would, recommend you maybe give it a try. But for someone uneducated in the ways of computers like myself, it is a very good game to play. And there is just to show you very quickly, there's a tutorial that is really good for learning the game. There's a one-player campaign that I swear will take you at least 17 years to complete. I mean, there are many quests in there, and you can see here that there's 23 maps to complete this one campaign. There's a bunch of campaigns there. You've got at least 15, so it will honestly take you most of your teenage to adult life to complete that. But what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be sort of showing you the Battle for Wesnoth, giving you a bit sort of an explanation as to how to play it. I say that I've sort of played around with it the last 2 nights in an attempt to re-teach myself how to play it. I haven't played it in about a year, and I was doing terribly, so I'll try and do better today. But we're going to go into multiplayer. We're going to go into the local game, just to host one for myself, and I think I'm just going to play it against one computer. So what you can do is you can put it on a particular scenario, and there's a bunch of sort of pre-made maps for you to complete. I'm going to go on a random one. They're pretty good. Let's just have a look. Just regenerate one. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to go on default. Next. We want to keep everything roughly the same, to be honest. Random start time, fog of war, all this. I will explain what you can do with all of this if we ever do a second game, but I'm just going to keep all of the settings as they are. Now, I'm going to make sure the second player is a computer player, and I'm going to keep it on the default AI. The strong AI, I haven't really played against before, and I couldn't tell you how good they are. So, there are multiple factions that you can be on Battle of Wesnoth, or 6 in total, and they sort of interlink with the campaigns of the story to an extent, but a lot of them are quite random. The loyalists tend to be the sort of humans, I guess, the sort of typical do-gooders. The rebels are sort of the forest elves and that sort of thing. Northerners being orcs and trolls and everything that you find in the hills. Undead, of course, is quite self-explanatory, really. The Narglan Alliance, it's Nargan, isn't it? Sort of a bunch of the misfits of the game. So you've got dwarves, you've got thieves, you've got griffins, just random goblins, bits and pieces like that. And then the drakes I'm going to be playing with today. So the drakes are the sort of dragon people, and they tend to be, unlike everyone else, all the troops are quite expensive, but they're quite good. So you have less people, but they're, more fortified. Now, which leader do I want to have? I'll show you sort of how everyone works a little bit later in the game, but what I'm going to be doing is, for now, I'm going to be having a flare as my leader, and let's just keep everything as it is. Let's just set the computer to be, who should we set them to be? The Northerners, perhaps? The Northerners are quite good to play against, yeah. So, The Battle for Wesnoth. It's a really fun game. As I said, it's completely free to download. There's no money spent playing this, so unlike Civ, you don't have to, spend any money to get into it, but it is a very good game. So, you can see here, this is roughly what the map looks like. You can see my start bar will appear from time to time. I can only apologise for that. I can use the cursors, can't I? Wonderful. So you can see on the top right, it's generated a map for us. And one of the nice things about the map is that it names everything for you. So you can see all of the little towns here. You've got Knee Forest, Yon Forest, Hellcross, Wetham, Samcross. It's sort of, and then you see Rookwood, and Rook's Forest is next to it. I really like it. It's very clever how it names things. You can see, and then Rock Lake is next to Rock's Forest and Rock's Wood, so it's very clever in that sense. But essentially you start with the castle. You can see here my dragon, he's called Player, and he is in the castle with me. Now the castle is where your leader must stay. If he's in this, do you see there's a little, it's again hexagonal, a bit like Civ. Do you see there's this sort of castle with the 6 red towers around it? Now that's the central point of my thought, and if my leader is there, I can summon, using gold up here, more troops into the game. So you never really want to move your leader out of it. In one-player campaigns, there are other castles that you can move your leader to do more summoning, but in multiplayer maps, it tends to be that you've only got the one. So you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner, this is where the Northerners are going to start. Now, very typical, sort of, if you've ever played Advanced Wars, it's a sort of similar way of playing, I guess, but by moving a troop over one of the cities here, named cities, not these windmills, these don't count. It's got to be a named city. You claim it. You can see there's 37 on the map. So by claiming it, it gives you more gold income per turn. I think you start with 2 gold income per turn, and each house gives you another 2 per turn, I think. And then you lose gold for every troop you've got. Now your leader is free, and I think every house can, for free, keep 1 troop upkeep, to you see what I mean? So if I've got 7 houses, then I can keep 7 troops. You can see here that my leader, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen now, he is level 2. Do you see? So your leader starts as level 2, so he's actually counts as 2 troops in terms of upkeep, but because he's my leader, he's absolutely free. I'll explain a bit more later, but essentially that's sort of the rough aspect of the game. If you've got a troop on a house, you'll claim it as your own, and it'll give you money per turn. You also do your little sort of good bits and pieces, such as healing you. I think it's 8 per turn. You can see I've got 55 health, XP. The more you kill, the more you level up. So should we get cracking? So everything's done with right click really on this game. So we're going to recruit, and we've only got 6 unit options for Drakes. This is why I kind of want to show you the Drakes. They're a very simple army to get your head around. You've got the 4 Drake troops and then the 2 Saurian troops. Now, the game of Battle of Wesnoth cycles from day to night. It's 6 turns, so 2 days a day, then a change, then 2 days a night, and then a change. And depending on the faction, do you see now the Drakes are lawful, you can see on the left-hand side, and the Saurians are chaotic. Now the lawful people get a 25% increase in damage at day, and the Saurians get a 25% increase at night, and then vice versa, a 25% penalty in the day, and the Drakes get a penalty at night. So Battle of Wesnoth is very clever. You've got to time your attacks well. If I go charging in with a load of dragons, or Drakes in the middle of the night, I'm not going to get very far. So, the Drakes are the more solid troops. You can see here the Saurians are cheaper, and actually you can see on the left, their health is a lot less. They don't have much health compared to the Drakes. You see here 40 health each on these two, as opposed to 20 health, 26 health. Okay. So the Drakes are solid, but they cost more. So the Burners they've got a very strong ranged attack. The Clashers have a very strong melee attack. Fighters, again, are melee, but they're more manoeuvrable than the Clashers, but because they can fly, they've got wings, but they are a little bit weaker. And the Gliders, again, they are not very strong at all, but they can move very, very quickly. So they're good for stealing a lot of territory very quickly. So what I'm going to do, Burners are my favourite troops. These guys are very good. So I'm going to purchase 2 Burners to start with. Again, Burners can only move 5 tiles, you see? But they can fly, so they can fly over things like forest very easily. The Clasher, he can only walk, but he is very, very strong. So I'm going to be building one of those. And then I'm going to also build, so I've got 39 gold left. Let's just have a quick think. That's a fighter. Fighters are much more manoeuvrable than the Clashers. So I've got 2 ranged and 2 melee. And then a little bit of extra gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an aura. Now these guys aren't very strong, but it does heal units around him by force. So it's good to sort of keep with my pack. And then my leader, I'm going to get him just at the end of my turn to go and claim this city. So you see I own 1 out of 37. And then let's end the turn from that. We'll speed up. So it's now night time. You can see we're in turn 5 or 6. So lawful units are getting 25 less, and then chaotic are getting 25 less, 25 more. Limnell, I think those units they tend to only be, I guess, 1-player game units, and neutral units. They're not affected by day and night at all, so they're quite solid. Right, let us move quickly my land troop. I'm just going to move him to there. I'm going to move my leader back to the city. Now, you can see as I'm moving about, I'm using my aura about here. Depending on where I pop him, he gets a different, he gets a different level of defense. So you can see in the castle, he's got 60% defense, in the forest 60%, but on paths only 40, in the snow only 30. Depending on where you put one of your troops, they get a different level of defense, and I will explain that a bit more once we start to fight, but it should become fairly self-evident, really. The trick is, with this game, is to keep your units together in packs. You never want to get yourself isolated, really. The other trick is to obviously claim as many houses as you can, as quickly as you can. So you can see here, I'm actually getting 3 gold per turn, but I'm actually losing 3 gold per turn as well. So my gold will be going around just for a little bit, but that's fine. We can very quickly get that back. Next unit, so N is the hotkey here. You can see that's the only person is my leader, but I'm keeping him there, so it doesn't matter for me at all. Right, let's keep pressing. Second day of night, or the second turn of night, I should say. Even though these guys can fly, I think they struggle to fly over snow, I think. But anyway, we're going to keep these two together. Again, travelling in packs is always sensible on this game. I'm going to get this guy to come down and help out. He has to stick to the land. He can't really move through forest as well as the others. This burner, again, he's just going to fly across to Hellcross. Wonderful. Soren can come after him. So you can see now, actually, my upkeep, now I've got another house, I can support one more of my troops. So I'm actually beginning to earn a little bit of money this term, which is good. I think actually the income is net of all the upkeep, so that I'm actually getting 6 gold per turn. So I'm in theory getting 8 per turn. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, 3 houses and my castle at 2 gold each per turn. So let's just see if there's an is there an enter? Yeah, control and space. That seems like a really annoying hotkey, but we'll do that. Okay,